it's Christian Younger, and I want to welcome you to another automotive best practice of the week. How many times has this one ever happened to you? It's a busy Saturday afternoon and you're with some guests that are looking at an SUV. Now it's a couple and they've got two kids, and you do a meet and greet and you investigate by asking some either or questions and open-ended questions. That also helps you establish some rapport, and you find out that they've got kids about the same age and both their kids like to play baseball and softball, and then the families, both of you like to go hunting and camping and fishing on the weekends. So you have this natural rapport. Now, you select this Ford Escape and you do a really good 6-point walk around because you were able to investigate and find out the features that were really important to them. So it was a customized walk around. Then you all went on a demonstration drive that went very well. When they got back from the demonstration drive, they actually agreed that they would purchase the vehicle if the terms were agreeable and it could fit into their budget. And then you go inside to sit down and start writing up the order. And the guest insists on a $1,500 discount on a Ford Escape that was a price leader on your website and had been heavily discounted. After the guest kind of gets hung up on the price and you guys aren't able to meet that because your sales manager says due to supply and demand, they just can't sell the vehicle for what the guest's asking for, they end up leaving. Now, wouldn't it be great if this objection never even came up at all? Well, actually, there's a way to keep it from coming up, and that's what we're going to find out in this video. Now, if this is your first time here and you want to improve your sales skills, learn to use psychology to close more car deals, and receive unbiased dealership product and service vendor reviews, go ahead and make sure to subscribe, and then go ahead and click the bell so you never miss out on learning anything new. Okay, let's go to work. Welcome back. Now, at the top of the video we said, wouldn't it be great if we could just eliminate the price objection from even coming up at all? Actually, there's a way to do that. It's called pre-addressing an objection, so we can hopefully eliminate the objection before it even comes up, or we'll at least lessen the opportunity or the chance of it coming up throughout the whole sales process. Now, what we're going to use in today's video is the truth to set us free. We're going to talk about market-based pricing, or that third-party pricing that you guys use with your third-party software. And I think just about everybody has some type of version of this. Some people call it real-time market-based pricing, third-party pricing, whatever you call it. We're going to today discuss it as market-based pricing. So as you're sitting there with this idle time, you and your guest, you're waiting for the figures from your manager. He's appraising or she's appraising a vehicle and putting the figures together. You've got this idle time that sometimes could be anxiety-filled for the guest because they're waiting for the numbers to come back. So what you're doing when you're sitting there with them is you can be talking about different things, but why not just pre-address an objection that could be coming up right whenever you go ahead and review the figures with the guest? So it would go something like this. Joe, there sure has been a lot of changes in the car business the last 5 to 10 years, hasn't there? Yeah, and may I ask, when was the last time that you purchased a vehicle? 4 years ago. Now, did you have to do a lot of negotiating or some negotiating to get a discount? You did? Well, the good news is you won't have to do that here. Hey, Bill, real quick while my manager's working up the figures, let's talk about market-based pricing. Market-based pricing is just simply a third-party software that goes out in the marketplace and searches for the exact same new and used vehicles and then compares the prices. It's the same third-party software you're used to because it's pretty much everywhere nowadays. In fact, when was the last time that you bought milk at the grocery store? Yeah, that milk you bought, priced it by third-party software. Their produce, third-party software. Amazon, airlines, hotels, tickets for concerts, all priced by third-party software. In fact, I bet you did some online shopping looking for cars before you stopped in here. Am I wrong? And would you have even stopped in and talked to us and come to see the vehicle if we were priced way higher than everyone else? Of course. And that's just it. You know, we had to pre-discount our vehicle. We had to price that vehicle, right? Or you, or anybody else for that matter, wouldn't have come in to even look at it. So that's why we've pre-discounted it. Now, let me go see where my manager's at and see if he's got our figures. Do you want a pop water or coffee while I go and grab those figures? Okay, I'll be right back. And there you are. So now you've addressed the pre-discount. So when it comes up again, you can remind them, well, as we discussed, it's been pre-discounted. Now, if you try to go back later after they've asked for a discount or after you've shown the figures, it loses some of its magic because you're doing this prior to going through the figures. Now, when you come back with figures from your manager, you'll be able to use that pre-discount story that's truthful, and you'll be able to use that throughout your whole negotiations. You'll just kind of call back to it throughout the negotiations when they keep coming at you for a discount. No different than a comedian does in their sets. A lot of times, a comedian early on in their set will tell a joke and then they'll call back that joke several times throughout the set, and many times that's their final big laugh at the very end. So you can kind of do the same type of thing. For instance, let's say that they're asking for a discount of $1,000. And so you could use a little close that we call the advertising credit little number close, and then you couple that with the pre-discount story. So it would go something like this. Hey Joe, it sounds like you want to get an additional discount. And as we've discussed, the vehicle has been pre-discounted. Now, all that aside, here's an idea. In our sales meeting last week, my manager said on average we spend $212 in advertising just to get a guest into the showroom. Now, rather than us have to spend that money to get another guest to come in and look at your car and sit in your seat, why don't we go ahead and just ask the manager if he could advance us that $212 in advertising credit today? If I could get him to go ahead and give us that credit and we could go ahead and put it towards the deal today, do you see any other reason why you wouldn't take the vehicle home? And again, you could use it as a closing tool. You can use it as a callback to remind them that the vehicle has been pre-discounted. Because after all, it has. And you don't have that same negotiation room like they may have had in 1980. Well, there you have it. A way to pre-address an objection, like for instance, price. So you either lessen its impact or perhaps even keep it from coming up at all. Now, if you'd like to hear more techniques and hear more word tracks and more closes like we just talked about, go ahead and hit on one of the videos that you're seeing coming up right about now.